boy. Just be yourself. If people don't like you if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Los
Hollywood Kev.
and welcome to another episode of The Noize on iHeartRadio. Go ahead and hit that follow button. Don't forget to like Beat Network on Facebook.com/BeatNetwork1. Follow us on Twitter @Beat_Network. And of course, Instagram @Beat Network. All the social media so y'all can stay in tune with what we got going on. We almost had a big issue getting this show started.
Yeah, I was a little worried there.
So I don't know how, but somehow it was recording directly into the computer instead of going through the box and then going into the computer. So it sounded like somebody was on some voyeur shit just listening in on our conversation.
Basically.
That probably would have been the greatest episode we've ever recorded at that.
Right.
Just our fucking luck, right? Dude, I'm tired.
You look tired.
I got no sleep last night.
You look tired. I mean, I was a little drowsy, but you look tired, bro.
Right, I was fucking a nap up before you got here. And I was saying to myself in my dream, I'm like, as soon as I start getting into that good sleep, that good sleep stroke, my doorbell gonna ring. And lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all good. We got work to do, so let's go ahead and get this thing going.
Nigga, you are tired, bro.
I am.
If y'all can see this man's face right now.
I am. It's very sad right now. Eyes are red as hell.
Normally, it's like a bubbly glow when we come in here. Today, he looks like, man,
Nah, not
fuck
today.
all this shit.
Not today. I mean, I ain't even put on lotion to even give you any kind of glow. Like, I'm ashy and just stressed. Like, it's all in one sitting right now. But we're going to make it through this episode. Let's get it.
Yeah.
God damn it. Before we actually get into the subject, I did want to tell a petty story. I'm happy that I've, in a sense, graduated past road rage. But now I have this new issue with road revenge. So we were, me and Jay Alonzo, we were taking a ride out somewhere, and coming back, we were about to hop over into the next lane, and the chick sees us cut on our blinker, and she decides to speed up. And I'm like, okay, that's normal. People do that all the damn time. But then she decides to look at us like, what was you thinking? Jay was driving, so I'm like, no, get in front of her. Make sure whatever we do before we get off the street, get in front of her.
Get in front of her.
So we managed to get in front of her. And we get to the turning lane, and all the cars went. We just waited.
That's some shit I would
She was about to jump over the next lane. We was about to jump into the next lane. So she started staying in that lane. As soon as it turned, and we're looking in the mirror, and she's going off. And we're like in the mirror, like, I can't hear you. The music's too loud. We can't hear you. So then the light turns yellow. We skirt off. And then she gets stuck at the light. I felt like that made the day so much better. The day wasn't even going bad, but that was like that was the cherry on top of a not too bad day.
That's definitely some shit I would do.
Bruh,
definitely.
It felt great.
I've graduated to, what is it? Road Revenge.
Road Revenge,
I graduated to that quite a while ago when I was traveling across town to come do the show, get on the freeway. Oh, man. But I graduated to throwing pennies at them.
Yo, I got another story there. And I was with Jay Alonzo. I've come to the conclusion Jay Alonzo is my black cloud when it comes down to driving, outside. And I will never forget. First of all, we just left Mom's house, and we were driving down Decatur, and there was this big ass redneck. I'm not fond of niggas truck right next to this bigger ass redneck. I'm really not fond of niggas RV, and the RV is behind the truck and decides to get on the side of the truck. And traffic on the left hand side is just whizzing past, so we can't jump over that swift.
Right.
These dudes slow down till about 20, 25 on the 45, and they're just having a conversation.
I hate that
So
shit.
we mash on the horn. We mash on the horn. And they look back at us, and they're probably calling us all kind of niggas or whatever. So I'm like, okay. I had the black at the time. So we get over to the side. Just right inside the truck, and then we keep it pushing. Now that truck, again, if y'all be seeing them little hillbilly, Dukes of Hazzards looking truck, it's not about to catch up to what we got going on. So flick it, kept it moving. I felt like victory. That was victory in that flick.
It always is. Like when I throw a penny now, granted, you're driving, it's a 50-50 chance you hit because you're driving.
Right.
I must have timed, the last time I did, I must have timed it perfectly.
On some Fast and the Furious
Yeah,
shit.
because it hit this person's window, and you seen them jump. Like, what the I felt great. Inside, I felt great. So, yeah, I don't even get mad no more. I just find a way to piss them off.
Listen, road revenge is the new wave. If y'all ain't on it, get on it. Now, understand, it's just as risky as road rage.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got them hands and you you decide to get revenge on that one dude that's having a day,
be prepared.
Be prepared to go ahead and chunk him, because if you ain't ready for that, you're not ready for road revenge just yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a better place to be. To actually probably save lives. You know, cats be having guns nowadays.
I told you, not this year on my birthday, because we all know what happened this year,
Right.
but last year, for my birthday, day of my birthday, going to dinner, you know, and me and my girl are driving, and she hits the blinker to get over because we had to make a U-turn. Mm-hmm. She hits this blinker, and she sees this truck. Ironically, it was a big Ford F-150 or whatever the hell. And she hits the blinker. We're trying to get over, but we're waiting for this truck to pass because we know we have to get all the way over.
Right.
Truck seems like it's letting us, so we gradually make our way over. Once she gets in the lane in front of this truck, he hits his horn. We're like, what the fuck? We didn't do nothing. We truly didn't. I'm having a good time. We listen to me. We're going to eat. And then she gets over into the further left lane because she has to make this U-turn. This guy is honking his horn. So I have my window rolled down. You know, it's May. It's nice outside. He drives past, flicks me off. So I stick my hand out the window and tell him, well, come on. This guy hits his car.
I don't think that was the proper response for a flicker. Well, come fuck me then. How about that?
No. I was like, well, come on. I'm with the shits. Come on.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So he hits he drives fast to make this U-turn. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm telling her now, mind you, she's scary. So I hit the car, and I'm like, stop right here. He turns around, and he comes up to the car. I just open the door and step out. This man drove so far away.
He saw that damn light. He was like, nope.
He was like, okay, I was not prepared for this. Like I'd never seen a
It's
car
like there's more of him coming out the car.
I'd never
right
seen
now.
a car that big move that fast.
Bruh.
Like that day, I was really ready to beat his ass. I wasn't mad or nothing like that. I was just in a I beat your ass mood.
Right.
And I don't think he
that
really
happens.
was about it.
That
Yeah,
happens.
I don't think he was
You just be
about
ready.
that. Yeah, I don't think he was about that when he was honking his horn.
Last road rage story before they start judging us. So this was back in Ohio during undergrad. And we had some people that were participating in events to get down with certain stuff. And, you know, wear colors, stuff like that. That's, you know, different story. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we're coming back from said events, and we drop one of the boys off, and he's walking over to the dorm, and this car, like, when I tell you half a second away from hitting him, and at this point, I'm going to be real, at this point, I didn't like the boys. I'm like, F y'all, get up out of here. Let's, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go back to my life and make sure I have my nights back to myself. So he, you know, half a second away from hitting him. One of his brothers was like, oh, hell no, and floors it. Now, mind you, it was 3 of them. So it's two of them still in the car, me and the other person that's bringing them in. And so we're on the car and we're chasing this dude. And I'm talking about he's bumper to bumper, honking his horn or whatever. He got his brights on so he can't see who in the car. In my head, I'm like, all right, so we're in buttfuck Ohio. It's very racist out here, and we are definitely 4 black guys trailing this white guy. He has to be a white guy because no one is just driving in Xenia that late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If they don't go to the schools and they ain't stopped at the school yet, there's a white guy. So we're trailing them, honking the horn, you know, putting our life on the line. He finally pulls off and he gets out the car like ready. So we all look like, okay, no gun. So we all get out the car. And it was the exact same reaction that she was talking. He like, you know, when you're getting out the car and that one last leg is about to hop out.
Yeah, you still got halfway in. Yeah.
As soon as he saw 4 niggas come out the car, boy, he damn near tripped getting back in the car. It was just like, oh, boop, hop back in, hit the reverse, all into some dirt, and right off. I'm like, yeah, we won. That felt like a W to me.
The satisfaction you get afterwards, like, nigga, you ain't want none.
Bro, that day, I was like, hey, you know what? I fuck with y'all. Y'all all right. Y'all good. I think we went to McDonald's after that, just celebration. That was 10 minutes of straight rambling. Anyway, So as y'all have seen, it's been nothing going on in the news this week.
Nah, not much.
It's been a very quiet time, except cats that are kind of near and dear to my heart at the moment making stupid fucking comments. I know you actually brought this to my attention because I've been ripping and running. Go ahead, talk to the people. What's going on? Sir?
Your boy.
Your
newly recruited Laker.
Yep.
Said that no one listens to Nas anymore. Migos and Future are real hip hop. That's what he said, word for word. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, now I understand Nas he's not a relevant rapper currently. But number one, don't ever disrespect Nas like that.
Ever, right.
And number two, Migos and Future are not hip hop. Real hip hop at that. So I felt a certain kind of way. And I wanted to bring it to your attention because that is your boy. That is your newly recruited Laker, your savior, if you will.
I wouldn't say all that.
Well, that's what some Laker fans are saying.
He beige like Jesus, but he ain't Jesus.
And that's what some Laker fans are saying. So I was like, I don't know if Los knows about this, but
and I didn't.
This some bullshit. this some bullshit.
First of all, this was already horrible because we got caught up in that tampering bullshit with a nigga that we didn't even get. So I still don't understand how is that contract tampering. But other than that, so people are gonna fuck with me for this, but it's fine. His statement is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Nas will never be a has-been. Nas will never be second rate to anybody in this industry, right. Especially Migos and Future.
Right.
Unfortunately, being that, what is he, 19? He's 19, right?
Yeah, probably fresh 19.
Being that Lonzo's 19, so real, and he's supposed to be, he's coming up on 20. So being that he's 19, he was born in 97. That is his hip hop.
Yeah. In a sense, that is his hip hop. So I understand kind of why he feels that way. But at the same time, if you're, and according to this guy, supposedly he's really into hip hop. Like he was just rapped at his brother's 16th birthday party or whatever.
He's into hip hop. We've had this conversation.
Okay. Whatever. He likes the shit. I feel if you are really in tune with that industry, then you wouldn't come out and say nothing like that.
It's crazy to even have, older people in his, in his area, especially with his dad, who easily should. Well, then again, did his dad grow up in L.A.? Like, did all of them grow up in L.A.? Or did they just call L.A. home?
No, I think they probably did. I don't know if his dad. I know his dad went to college in L.A. for at one point. So I know the kids probably did. Maybe his dad spent a good portion of it in L.A., but I don't think he's originally from there.
Well, he's definitely one of those you don't know nothing about music boy type cats.
Right.
So if he is a big hip hop cat, then Lonzo should know better. He should know who Nas is.
I'm pretty sure he knows who Nas is. He probably
he probably knows of Nas, but I don't think he knows who Nas is. To say that no one is listening to Nas anymore. Now, in this situation where he's right, no one after us is listening to Nas. We're probably the last of the Mohicans.
I think. Well, I'll say a couple years after us. Maybe people that are 26, between 25 and 27, probably would listen to Nas.
That's a strong.
That's a problem.
That's a strong problem. But I don't think anybody with the 90 anything is really 1990. We'll give 1990, but 91 and up, I don't think they're really getting. I don't think they're putting on Stillmatic, Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's putting on Nostradamus. But yeah, I just looking at his age. It doesn't surprise me that that's his mindset, because then you got to look at his peers. You look at the Yachties, you look at the Uzis. Like, we bring these people up all the time for this exact same conversation. At this point, I think it's a young millennial mindset that if it's not current, it don't matter. And that's one of the biggest things that's low-key killing hip-hop, because cats are getting in and they're just trying to have that single and have it sound like everybody. And then get about the industry. So there's no consistency with artists nowadays.
That's Soulja Boy's fault too.
Very much so. He started the ringtone rap.
That ringtone to having a hit single. Now, don't get me wrong, having a hit single is big.
It's huge, right?
It was really big, but like you said, like we said before, these current younger artists are looking just to be rock stars. They want to have fun and do whatever drugs that they're on and go about their time. You don't have people that really come and they want to become a legend. Like, I don't think none of these new artists have said in any type of interview, I want to become the best ever. You know what I mean? I think that era probably died out. So again, I can understand why he made those comments, but at the same time, with who his dad seems to be, you would think he would have a little bit more education when it comes to that.
When it comes to actual hip hop, and of course we're realistically going to dive into this whole conversation because it's hip hop, it's our favorite subject. But just to kind of stick with Lonzo for a little bit. Once you told me about it, I started diving into it immediately because I'm like, come on, man, we got too much riding on you. Don't start no controversy. Don't get no.
See what happened to the last nigga that started controversy.
Exactly. You know, don't get no negative eyes on Lakers already. We ain't even gave you an actual Laker jersey yet. You still got the practice squad joint. You got the summer league jersey on still. Wait till you get an actual jersey. But anyway, T.I. clapped at him on Instagram saying, my boy, you reaching like a motherfucker. Lakers might fuck around and been piss test you behind this one. Hashtag legends never die.
I like T.I. because he don't give a fuck who he talk. He'll say whatever.
He'll say it directly to you.
Yeah.
And that's another lost art.
Yeah. What's funny is not only would he say it, because, I mean, we're in the social media age, so yeah, he's going to say it on social media. But T.I. say it to your face.
And you know what, though? When it comes down to celebrities saying stuff on social media, the only reason if I was in that position, the only reason I would take it a little more serious than just a regular Facebook knuckles and Twitter fingers is because we both have the money to see each other.
Right, exactly.
And at some point, we're going to cross paths.
Exactly.
So it's like, nah, you got that to say? You're where? But that's just a 3-hour flight.
Exactly.
Spirit got deals. I can do this round trip 150.
It's nothing for people in that type of situation to pull up on each other.
Exactly. We've had this conversation before when you battle gods. It ain't nothing to pull up on a shit talker. It's really nothing. No matter, especially if you got bread, it's nothing to take that trip whatsoever.
Exactly.
So when celebrities kind of go about it, I look at it like this could really escalate into something because you're bound to cross paths.
Right.
No matter what, you're bound to cross paths.
Absolutely. Hell, he probably cross paths with Nas.
Oh, yeah. But speaking of Nas, his manager also responded to Lonzo. But he said, Nas has never heard of you and Future. Thanks you for your support.
Well, he said Nas never heard of him and Future, and Future thanks you.
Yeah, he was saying that because I'm assuming Nas' manager manages Future as well.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong. But he told him this oatmeal face nigga thinks he gonna gain off my guys' names before winning a game. I don't care what team you play for. Family first.
Yo, he called them oatmeal face.
He called him oatmeal face, which I ain't gonna lie, it's like reading it, it's like you going straight to insults, but that was corny. That was the equivalent of pizza face to me.
Oatmeal face is classic to me, dog.
He said I would never die.
That's funny to me because, I mean, dude, he young, so of course he got the acne popping up, but
Right.
oatmeal face is, I like that.
No,
I like that.
I feel him on that. It was definitely clever. But I don't know. That just sounded corny. I feel like he could have came a little harder than that.
Oatmeal face.
But yeah, like that. It doesn't make sense to actually fix your lips and say something like that,
Right.
knowing what. Even though we may be in the era of the young millennial takeover, yes, but you know what's going on with these cats trying to speak out about the legends,
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of these millennials, they follow Lil B, something crazy, and even Lil B got at him.
Lil B still has a following?
Bruh, he has a cult-like following, and before you get us cursed, you might want to relax.
Really?
No, Lil B has a huge following. But, of course, the same way he did with KD, which technically he was right because he never got a ring in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He told Lonzo on Twitter, Lonzo Ball is a few seconds away from being cursed his rookie year on the Lakers. Nas is hip-hop and always relevant. Watch your team. Lil B.
He's running with this curse shit, ain't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, every time he brings up this curse, it's like, does he really believe that he's really out here cursing cats?
So is he a witch?
What is it for men? Was it a warlock?
I guess. I thought that was like a wizard or something.
He could be a wizard.
Little B the wizard.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Little B in the Chamber of Secrets.
That's funny. But yeah, you're right, man. He got to be a little bit more knowledgeable.
Right.
Or if you're going to say something like that, if that's truly how you feel, I don't want him to come out and apologize and stand by what you said. But maybe you shouldn't be running to a reporter to say this. Maybe you should, you know, this is something you talk about
amongst
with
your boys exactly.
or, you know what I mean, whatever. Don't run to a media outlet because now it looks like you're looking for attention.
Right.
Like, how did that conversation even come about?
Like at this point, you look like your daddy.
Yeah.
you look like your daddy.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be different if he was doing an interview. Somebody asked him a hip hop question. He was like, well, you know, I really listen to Future and Migos right now. I think they are hip hop to me or something like that. You know what I mean? He didn't have to diss Nas. And then on top of that, you diss Nas, like a living legend.
You diss Nas not too long after you just praised Jay-Z for shouting out your shoes. So it's like you look. So if Nas had bought something, then he wouldn't have been involved in the conversation. Then.
Right. And who's to say Nas didn't?
Exactly. Who's to say Nas didn't? And I think that's another thing that's kind of missing from this hip hop generation. Let me not speak to everybody, but it seems like the sensitivity has grown.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to being a hip hop fan, because now, if you're not with me, you against me. Like that's just automatically the mindset. Like Cash just can't survive in the same league. But if this is the hip hop generation where you don't care what people got to say about you, why do you care so much about what people got to say about you?
Exactly. Like you said, there's a lot of sensitivity. Everybody wanna be friends, and they don't want you to talk bad about them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like they're taking this bullying step to another, or they're taking bullying to another step. Like he's bullying me because he don't like my music, or he's bullying me because he said this about me. Like that's weak to me.
I think it's because a lot of these cats used to be mad lame back in the day.
They had to be.
Like prior to, I mean, you look at Ugly God. He even says, like, I didn't used to get girls, anything like that before I started rapping. Now I'm on, and I'm hitting some of the baddest from IG. You know what I mean? And you look at cats like that, like, so of course when you start getting money and if people hating on you and you feeling like that's going to stop your sales or that's going to stop your pussy from coming in, all of a sudden now you got to defend it. Now you feel like, okay, look, I'm not going to take it to the records. I'm going to take it to Twitter. I'm going to take it to what my generation sees as the clapping back, which technically it is right now.
See, and this is funny because they're not, I mean, they're younger than us, but they're not that much younger than us. I'm still in the era to where somebody, if I'm a rapper and somebody says something about me, then I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to do it on wax.
Right.
Oh, you think I suck? So I'm going to give you the hardest 16 that I probably have spitting to change your perception of me. Mm-hmm. Instead of running to Twitter, running to Instagram, and, oh, he was talking about me, and I didn't like what he said. I think that was wrong. Like, come on, man. Hold your nuts and go into the booth.
Right, pick up your skirt and grab your balls.
Right. It's really that simple. One thing that I want to dive in, since we're already here, is I guess we can, I don't know how we can discuss how we want to break it down, but I think we should give a solid top 10. In the top 10, like if hip hop stopped today, well, we won't say that. If hip hop stopped, yeah, we can go today. For the past decade. We can do past decade. Top 10 for the past decade.
Ooh, that's...
I think we can do that. 2007 to now, I think we can do that.
It's possible, but it's just I feel like that's just eliminating a lot of like good ones, because if we go off the top 10 in the past decade.
So what, do you want to do top 10 of all time? The reason I didn't say all time, the reason I didn't say that is because we have to take into consideration the people that we didn't listen to growing up.
Well, but this is our personal list. It's the same way that we saw Lil B was on Yachty's top 5. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And before we even get into that, one thing I do want to discuss, and then maybe that'll actually help define what kind of conversation you want to have with the list. I want to look at how rap music is defined today. Mm-hmm. Like, what qualifies for real hip hop? You know what I mean? Like, when you look at it, where we come from, and we're not that much older than these cats, but where we come from, hip hop was competitive.
Right.
Hip hop was all about the story that you were telling. Hip hop was about your delivery. Hip hop was about the strength of your bars and the message that you're trying to get across. Even if the message is a turn up, how you deliver those bars is everything. Right. And cats will just, certain cats that get on there and they just destroy shit. Like me and Jay was just having this conversation. Hip hop is going to have a hard time accepting that one of the greatest to come out of this genre was a white boy.
Right.
you know. But then you look at it today, and you see Ugly God calling 21 Savage GOAT, and Lonzo saying that Migos and Future is real hip hop. So what qualifies them? If they're mumble rappers, if they they're hard to really hear when they're spitting, and they all kind of rap about the same thing. So what would you say is quote unquote real hip hop today? That's
a good question. I would think it would be a lot of the same things that you said. I think the things that jump started what hip hop is should be considered actually like your delivery, your bars, your metaphors, your storytelling, everything that we kind of like growing up. I think that personifies what hip hop is. You know what I mean? I think like I've said last episode, this newer generation isn't hip hop to me. It's hip hop or alternative hip or whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. There's no delivery with these new rappers. There's there's not even lyrics. This is them saying yeah 5 times on a song.
Whatever they want to say, right?
You know what I mean? So I think we have to take into account if we dive back into the people that we didn't even listen to, the people that kind of started hip hop, what were they bringing to the table to the people that we actually did listen to? What did they take? Because I think that was a golden era of hip hop. I think everybody can kind of agree on that.
Definitely.
So we should take what the rappers in the golden era of hip hop were doing and use that to create what hip hop actually is.
I agree. Why do you think this generation wants to get away from that time? Because I look at the delivery and the cadence and the bars of KRS-One or what's my man's name? Drawing a blank, but just to bring up anybody, Rakim or Big Daddy Kane or anybody from that generation that we had to hear stories about the same way that they hear about Pac. I think about people from that time, and I can openly say that a lot of it I didn't enjoy and a lot of it I can't relate to, but I at least recognize who they are, and they have that relative sound to what we're used to.
Right.
It was, it was a cadence, it was a story, it was a message, the whole nine. When do you think that got lost? When do you think we kind of started saying, okay, well, fuck all that, let's just stick with dope beat trap music?
I think it got lost. Honestly, I think it got lost once life got harder. And the reason being is because if you look at a lot of the music now, it's turn up music. And usually when you're going out, you want to have fun, but a lot of times you're escaping whatever really is going on.
Right.
So I think when life gradually got harder, when technology gradually made life a little bit more difficult, these newer artists are like, okay, I want to use technology to boost my brand, to get money, to feed my family. And the only way I'm going to be able to do this is by creating an escape for my listeners.
Right.
Because a lot of the people that listen to this type of music, all they want to do is turn up. They want to take drugs and they want to go party, which is usually an escape. I mean, hell, we talked about it, I think, last episode where on the radio you got I Don't Want to Be Alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you would have told me back in, hell, I even go as far as 05. If you would have told me in 05 a song was going to be on the radio talking about I Don't Want to Be Alive, I would have told you were crazy. Man,
but you look at Superman, that was in 07, and we found out that was about nutting on a girl's chest. But they find ways to slip it in there.
Okay. But even if we want to take it there, I think in 07, when Soulja Boy came out, was doing that. That's when it started to take off. It was like a plane getting ready to hit that runway, because we still had the rap that we grew up with. And a few years after that Soulja Boy shit, plane is flying at this point, and now we get people like Lil Boat and Ugly God and Migos and Future, you know what I mean? So I think it probably started in 07.
I think, and I agree with you, I think Soulja Boy kind of created the lazy listener to now they're just trying to hear a dope beat and a catchy hook. Whatever he says in between that time doesn't matter, but I think he started the lazy listener.
That term is perfect.
Thank you, sir.
That term is really perfect, the lazy listener, because now you get you get the listeners, and they're like, I don't want to hear all that lyric. I even hear it on some of the people that are in my age group. Like, they'll put on a song, I don't want to hear all that lyric shit, I want to turn up.
Ain't that crazy?
And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's what got you liking hip-hop in the first place.
In the very fucking beginning was lyrics. And when people say, I don't want to hear that lyrical shit, I don't want to hear dude spitting, I don't care whether or not he could rap. Like, so why do you listen to this?
Exactly. You better off slapping an instrumental and going to rap yourself.
Right. Even though I blame Soulja Boy heavily, and this other dude I fuck with. I fuck with his music. I know you don't. But I think Future made it popular to, add on to the lazy rap for the lazy listener.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Soulja Boy, he initiated that party music to where I just want the dope hook, I want this, I want that. Future, a lot of times is inaudible in a lot of his music. You don't understand you don't see a lot of cats rapping along to Future.
I don't listen to Future.
You know what I mean? But and I think he's like my guilty pleasure. I don't know what it is, but it's just certain music I fuck with. Like when I can actually understand what he's saying, I fuck with. Right. But
one verse I actually can understand what he's saying word for word is a track with him and The Weeknd. That what's the name of that track? Low Life.
Oh yeah.
I love that song.
That's what I'm saying.
But Future, I can understand what he's saying word for word.
Future can actually spit when you're able to decipher what it is that he's saying. But I think he opened up that door to be like, okay, I could mumble. I could say whatever the hell I want to on this record as long as the beat go and the hook is A1. Sometimes the hook ain't even got to be A1. The beat just got to go, and how you ride the beat.
Yeah,
is what people that's what it is. Look at as hip hop now.
Honestly, what they're doing is capitalizing off their brand, because I don't think a less popular artist would be able to do that. You know what I mean? If you get somebody that's completely up and coming, has no following, and let's say they hit the jackpot, get lucky, and they put out a song, people gonna be like, I don't want to listen to this shit, because they don't have that brand behind them. Future started to make a brand, and then wasn't he signed to T.I. shit at one point?
No. I think was he?
Or was his first single just with T.I.?
I don't know. It's something we got to look into. I don't want to even start lying right now.
Yeah, either way, he built a brand, and then he was like, okay, I got a little following. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, and it's gonna float. It's kind of what Drake said. He can make a blank diss and it'll still sell.
Kind of. I'm gonna get back to Future. But speaking of Future, our first introduction of Future was on that Rax record. What happened to the YB dude? What happened to him? Like, does anybody check on him? Has anybody tweet like, "Hey, what's good, bro?" Like, you ever thought Rax on Rax on Rax 2K17 at all? Like he just disappeared.
Is he signed to Diddy?
Could be.
That's probably why he disappeared.
If he is, that means he works for Target. But think about it. Can you imagine the dude that was on your feature is bigger than what you ever were going to be?
Yeah, that's
I'd be
crazy.
salty as hell. I'm like, man, damn. I knew I should have got a little beat. But I had to get somebody. But anyway, I think it's with that lazy listener effect that we ended up getting a designer. You know what I mean? The fact that we heard designer was clearly and blatantly biting off of Future.
Yeah.
And it's almost like nobody noticed. They was just like, oh, he sounds like Future, and this song is dope. I fuck with this song. Like, we listeners have gotten so lazy that we openly accept a cat who was a blatant ripoff, a carbon copy of who we've already had for years.
Yeah, that's really what it is, and that comes from the newer generation to where they biting.
Yeah,
back then in the golden era, you couldn't get that.
Right,
it was no way a rapper was gonna be able to come out and do exactly what Pac did to the T, and it rocked. They would have got that man the fuck up out of there.
Being the historian that I am in hip hop, this is technically something that happened before, so it's kind of weird to see it kind of, to see it, the world turn. But I guess in this sense, it's different because everybody was exposed to it. When rapping was just a battle sport, and it was something that was known just in New York before the first rap record was recorded and put out, Rapper's Delight. I forgot dude's name, but his verse was completely bitten from Grandmaster Caz. Grandmaster Caz wrote that verse, and he came to Caz like, you help me write rhymes, and Caz was just spitting for him, and he bit that entire verse. And that's one of the unspoken things about in hip hop, honestly. Like, the very first rap record, one of the verses was bitten. And it was bitten completely, So back then, I can understand it flying because you already didn't have an idea of who Grandmaster Caz was or what cats were doing in New York.
And you weren't exposed to it unless Grandmaster Caz had bona fide proof. You was probably just throwing it under the rug.
Exactly.
Like, nah.
And when this is hip hop's introduction to Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? This is hip hop's introduction to the rest of the world. So you're not gonna look back like, nah, I remember I heard this on a battle tape with Grandmaster Caz. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So I can understand you getting away with it then. But Designer having a flourishing career for the time that he was around, signing to a major label, but this was during Kanye's loopy moments. So I understand that. But signing to a major label and actually getting a platinum record sounding like another nigga.
Exactly like another
as
nigga.
listeners, we've gotten so lazy that we're just accepting anything. If it sounds good, then I fuck with it. I hate that shit.
And it's funny because when Designer first came out, I was like, why is Future rapping about a panda?
That's the first thing I said.
I was like, why is he rapping about a panda?
I was like, Future has really thrown in the towel. That's like the first thing that came to mind. Like, I'm going to rap about whatever the hell I see.
Right. I was at the zoo, seeing a panda. Oh, another panda. Panda. Like,
panda. He's pointing at pandas the entire time.
I was like, wow. And then people was like, nah, that's not Future. That's Designer with
And
two
they plugging
eyes.
them. No,
I'm
that's
like,
Designer.
whoa.
2 eyes. Like,
Designer? Like,
who?
At first I was like, is this like an artist? Or like, I didn't know. When they said it was Designer, I was like, what do you mean? What is Designer? Like, is this a new brand or something? What is this? And Lord and behold, it was a nigga rapping about pandas.
I think out of a lot of these new artists, Future is the last one to truly pay his dues to get into the industry. Because a lot of cats don't know he was Dungeon Family before he got on.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. He wasn't a part of like the major Dungeon. I think he was like third tier. Like they had breakdowns, but they considered him Dungeon Family. He had a chain and everything. So I think he's one of the last rappers to pay dues. And it's because of his dues and what he's doing, he opened up opportunity for all these cats to just sneak into the industry.
Yeah, and that's
And again, I like Future, but I think he the one that brought forth that mumble rap era.
I can see that. And it's to a point now where that X whatever the fuck
XXX Tentacion.
that nigga. I remember when the thing came out with Drake biting this shit or whatever that was. Now this nigga has a following. There's people on my timeline like, yo, if you like emo mixed with that rap, his album is kind of good. I'm like, this is a SoundCloud rapper. He was just a SoundCloud rapper 6 months ago.
Oh yeah,
and now he actually has a following.
Can you imagine if they actually had a battle? That would have been the most saddest battle ever. It had just been battle of the depressed.
And it's sad because unless you are enthralled in hip hop, you forget that battle rap even still goes on.
Oh yeah,
like there are known battle rappers, and you know what I mean. They're not on the commercial forefront as they shouldn't be, but you would forget that stuff still goes on.
One thing with battle rappers though is that they can't make a decent record. That's
Right.
one thing you've seen from a lot of battle rappers. Like
can't make a decent record.
Jin, that's a name I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard in a while. His CD sucked.
Trash.
We never got the Poster Boy album when he won 106. I almost confused him with Paperboy from Atlanta. But it was Poster Boy. It was for sure Poster Boy. Yeah, a lot of them cats, they can't really put together a good album. I'll never understand how it works.
That's very, very true. They can't put together a good album. But yeah, you forget that even takes place because of the way hip hop is now. It's
How
not
friendly it
competitive. Everybody wants to be friends. That's why when we had those moments where artists was beefing, I love that shit because you're getting back to the competitiveness of the sport. And there is none of that going on right now.
And because that's such a lost art, a rapper not responding is a response.
Basically. And that's
it's acceptable.
Sad. That's sad because back then, if you didn't respond to some shit, you was getting laughed out the industry, basically.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't respond, your career was pretty much done.
Nowadays, people are literally putting together the Pootie Tang record of nothing. Pootie don't need no words, don't even need no music. That is the response now.
That is the
and
response.
it flies. It gets past. It gets to people. And
Or somebody puts out a diss record and somebody takes a Twitter and they could put 2 lines down. You know what I mean? They can put a couple emojis and that's supposed to be a response.
right. Oh, yeah, Twitter counts, apparently. Whatever you say back on Twitter, you good.
And that part is baffling to me. I would never understand it. Like, what happened to the competitiveness? Do people think it's going to mess up their money that bad they feel like they shouldn't even respond?
I think, and we've had this conversation before, but as I've had time to, really stop and listen to some of these trash-ass artists and, dissect their lyrics, I think the competitive left because no one's putting effort in their writing anymore. To be competitive, to actually have battle bars, you have to study. You have to learn your opponent. You gotta make sure you hit every inch below the belt. Just actually, come out the victor. Like you look at what happened with Drake and Meek. Drake wasn't trying to be, clever. He was like, I'm just gonna tell the truth of what's really going on with you. That's what I'm gonna do. So it's like when you tap stuff like that, you don't need to be, clever. You can just be witty and just still win that way. I don't see any of these new dudes, coming into the industry, taking that time to just dissect an artist and actually, have that opportunity to hoe him on record. I don't think the rappers actually have the attention span enough today to do some stuff like that. So I think that's where the competitive edge went. They're like, I don't need to compete. If I can coexist with you, cool. But it's with that same, coexistence that it's going to be easy to fall off. Because once I'm tired of this dude, you sound like this dude, so I'm tired of your ass too. Mm-hmm. And then they're just going to be Mark Curry.
We need another. We need another How to Rob. That's what we need. We need a newer version of How to Rob, dissing all these newer artists to hopefully get them to be competitive or something. Like I'm chucking it up to maybe these cats are young. Maybe if they survive in the industry as they get older, they'll start to shift. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for it. I think the chances are very slim, but I'm hoping for it because this sucks, dog.
The only reason we'll never get another How to Rob is for the point you just made earlier. The game is way too sensitive right now.
Yeah, it really is.
He will get dragged on Twitter. Whoever the person is that comes up with How to Rob to, oh, you're just upset because this, that, and the third. How can you say
right.
all of this? Like, no, respond to me. Dude, we low-key already had a second How to Rob just in one verse with Kendrick's Control.
Very true.
The only people that came back to him were the cats you expected. You expected the big-time hip-hop cats to come back at him.
But with that one, that was a little bit different because Kendrick wasn't talking about, granted they weren't around, Kendrick wasn't talking about these mumble rappers when you think about it. He was talking about people that actually had bars.
He was talking about people that actually had bars, but again, he did it in the generation that we currently sit in. So people were responding like Kendrick was being a bully. He went through a lot that year when he had Control. He just got off of the stuff because he had a light-skinned girlfriend, which is weird. True. And then he dropped these bars, and people were like, oh, Kendrick's being a bully, and he's never fully recovered from that. Like, look at how everybody went off about the Humble record. Like, people will take what Kendrick Lamar says now and just find something to be upset about it. They'll find something in there. This all stemmed, like, if you really go back and look, the base of this was him having a light-skinned girlfriend in that Control verse.
And that's sad. It's funny because I had somebody on Twitter actually last week that said I respected his opinion. Me and a couple other people were like baffled by it, but he was like, he didn't fuck with Kendrick. Mm-hmm. He didn't diss him, nothing. He just said he just doesn't like dude. He didn't see what other people saw in him. He said he tried. Heard that before. He said he tried, but he just couldn't get into it. And I respect that because he didn't say nothing negative or, he didn't be like, oh, he just trashed or whatever the case is. I feel like if you're going to say somebody sucks, though, give a reason why you feel that way.
Right.
I can say Lil Bo sucks because he does. he doesn't rap. I feel like he doesn't write shit. I feel like he just go in there and says whatever he's thinking that day and put it on the beat.
Right.
There's reasons behind the way we feel about these newer artists.
Right.
But I think somehow, some way, and I truly don't know how it can, but the game needs to change because we're looking at a dying art right now.
Definitely.
We're looking at if there is subcategories to hip hop, we're looking at those subcategories kind of taking over and the basis of hip hop disappearing. And
that exactly. I was just about to say that. I don't think rap music, let me say that. I don't think rap music is going anywhere, but the culture of hip hop is definitely starting to disintegrate. Like, think about it, we don't even have any good graffiti artists anymore. True. I think our last big black artist was Basquiat, and he don't really count as a hip hop,
True.
creator like that. But it's starting to die off. Like the art of turntablism, that shit is gone.
Well, yeah, but I think that some people still use turntables, but I think that comes from just newer technology. People can find a way to do what the turntables did, but it being easier.
Yeah, but I appreciated the beat battle. Because that was something that gave me that it was like an ode to turntablism, even though they weren't doing too much mixing or anything like that. But I felt like that took us back to a certain place to where cats can actually get on the tables and speak through their fingers. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's dope. All of that is gone and out the window. And of course, battle rapping is gone. So everyone just wants to be friends. Like, it might as well be pop. It might as well be.
It truly might as well be. Actually, speaking of pop, I was thinking about this on the way here. Nelly came on the radio, and I was sitting here thinking about, older Nelly, and I was sitting there thinking, Nelly might have been pop.
Oh, Nelly was definitely pop.
So that kind of paved the way for artists like Drake, too, when you think about it.
I think, they came out at the same time. Nelly and Ja made what Drake do right now acceptable.
That's crazy. When you think about it, that actually is crazy. because we weren't saying that wasn't hip hop back then. I mean, we were, but not to the extent of where it is now.
Actually, no. Technically, it would be Ja, because Ja came out what 98, 99?
Yeah, you're right. It would be Ja.
Yeah, and then I think Nelly was 99 or 2000, one or the other.
He started.
He started
Yeah.
early.
You're right.
He may have been 2000 if anything, but Ja kind of made it popular to do the singing, rapping, pouring out of the emotions. Drake is really just a light-skinned Ja Rule. with a way better singing voice
and a better following too.
Better following that because Ja was on top, bro.
He was.
It
at
wasn't
one
until
point.
50 came in and was like, "Y'all really like this nigga?" And people was like, "Huh? Why do we like this nigga?"
You're right. But on the same now, if we're gonna take it there, who would have? I don't even want to use this term. Who would have better bars between Drake and Ja? Like I said, I don't even want to use that term.
I gotta go with Drake.
Yeah,
I have to go with Drake.
Yeah, I'm kind of rocking with him on that. But you're right. He paved the way for artists like Drake. And hell, even Drake was acceptable. Is acceptable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think now he probably is transitioning more to singing than he is rap. But even when he first came, it was acceptable because you knew he could spit.
Right.
What these newer artists are doing is really getting on a record and humming over a beat.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drake goes back to just straight bars only because of the reaction to More Life.
You know what? Drake might be the person to save hip hop.
Ooh.
And
as always, it's Big Los and Hollywood Kev. Just to know it's time to go. What?
and the reason being, I don't mean the culture of hip hop.
Oh, you talking about the lyrical game.
Right, because of his following, everybody fucks with him. If he goes back to start spitting,
I see what you're
saying.
He
might be able to convert everybody else to doing the same thing.
Drake is in a lot of these younger cast top 5, so I definitely feel that.
He might be able to kind of change that. Do I see it happening? No.
Not at all.
No, because
way too much money in what he's doing right now.
And not only that, that means Drake would have to compete. And he competed with Meek because it was Meek.
Right.
When
he
it was
say nothing to Joe.
When it was those other artists, he wasn't trying to compete. Fuck. Even if you want to take his little subtle jabs at Joe in his concerts, he ain't say nothing to Push.
He ain't say nothing to Kendrick. That's what I want to see. If that was something that would happen, I think that would probably be one of the most watched events in hip hop.
I think so. I can agree with you on that. I can definitely agree with you on that.
So let me ask you, having this conversation, let's go ahead and give the people our top 5.
See, but like I said before, I got top 5 who I'm currently listening to, and then top 5 who I feel if hip hop stopped today, what it would be.
If hip hop stopped today.
If hip hop stopped today?
Today. Who are the 5 people that you're pulling out of the cellar? Like these are the gems. You got to check these out right here. Who are your 5? It's about to get controversial.
This is difficult because off top, your first 2 to me. Your first 2 are kind of interchangeable, but for
no necessary order.
But for the sake, no necessary order.
Nah.
Oh, if we're doing no necessary order for me, and I guess this top 5 would probably tell you a lot about me. I would have to say Big and Pac, M. For me, it'd be Button. I'm throwing Button in there.
Wow.
And fifth. Yeah. If hip hop stopped today if hip hop stopped today and it was like choose 5 artists, this is what you gotta listen to, those would be the 5 I'm listening to.
So let me ask you. The first 3 I understand and you'll understand when I name mine. But Button. Why Button?
For a few reasons actually. Number 1, when Button first came out, first of all, his first album was trash.
Yeah, it was very commercial.
You know, I probably had 3 songs. The 3 songs that were the dopest to me, I really rock with. That 10 minutes joint. At the time, I was, middle of puberty, middle high school, stuff like that. It was cool for me. 10 minutes, me and my mom beefing. I just need 10 minutes.
Right.
That song was cool for me. Then I kind of faded away from Button. I didn't really hear nothing about. I didn't even know he was still making music.
Right.
Until one day I was up late at night on the computer, seeing the one of the singles for Padded Room. Thought it was dope. Thought the storytelling was dope. Thought the metaphors were dope. So I was like, okay, let me give this album a chance. Listen to the album, and just the content overall and the wordplay was phenomenal to me. So Padded Room kind of made it to where I was like, oh, I got to listen to his shit. Went back, listened to everything, and everything that I like in hip hop. The way he delivered his lines, the metaphors, the storytelling. Only thing with Button that I don't like is his choice of beats. That's the only thing. I think some of his beats be like, oh, why the hell did you choose that?
Some of them do be kind of left.
Yeah, but for me, it was just more so when his music came to me, what it meant to me. A lot of the stuff I can relate to, especially like the relationship stuff. A lot of the stuff that he was saying in certain tracks, like Dear Diary, was stuff that I would love to say to my significant other at the time, but didn't have the balls to do it because it was like, you was a different type of nigga to say a lot of the stuff he was saying.
I was saying when I can't think it was either Some Love Lost or All Love Lost. Which one had original love shit? The fifth one, I think I want to say, where he was sampling the Young and the Restless beat. You don't remember that song?
I don't know what beat you're talking about. If you're talking about Ordinary Love shit.
Ordinary Love shit, that's what I'm talking
about. If you're talking about that, Ordinary Love shit was sampled. He had 2 Sade beats, the first one. The third one was a Frank Ocean beat, and the fourth one was
I think it's OLS4
because the most recent one.
Yeah, because that was that was a sample of Young and the Restless.
Okay, the most recent one. That was when he was talking about
You keep running away. That joint.
No, that's not OLS. That's
that is OLS.
Is it?
Yes.
It is. He said that towards the end. You're right. Okay, yeah, OLS4 then.
Okay, yeah. That album, it was either All Love Lost or Some Love Lost, one or the other. Or More Love Lost.
No, it was All Love Lost.
Because All Love Lost was the last one. Then it was Some Love Lost,
More Love Lost was the last one.
All Love Lost. So,
Some Love Lost, More Love Lost, All Love
I think it's More Love Lost.
Okay.
No.
I know.
There you go. It was No Love Lost, Some Love Lost, All Love Lost.
I know.
So it was Some Love Lost.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So Some Love Lost, around the time of what I was going through, fit perfectly to what
That's
was
what I'm
going
saying.
on.
A lot of stuff, especially like I said, when I first was listening to Dear Diary, was fitting perfectly to what I was going through. So for him, it's more or less a staple of what I was going through. That's why when people say they don't fuck with him, I can understand because they may not have clicked with that what he was talking about, and that's why Button's in my top there.
And what about fifth? I want to touch on all of them, just because a lot of people look at Big and Pac as like a lot of people's default 1 and 2. But I just want to kind of hear why you feel about it.
So I'll break it out. I talked about Button. For Pac, for me, of course, I was a younger, living back home, East Cleveland. A lot of the stuff that he was saying, I was visually able to see. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about necessarily the tracks like Hit 'Em Up or more his gangster shit. I wasn't talking necessarily about that, but songs like Changes and Keep Your Head Up, I was seeing stuff like that. So for me, it was a highlight of what actually was going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He was like a reporter.
Basically, yeah, it was a hood reporter. So it resonated with me. You know, I was able to click kind of to what he was saying, and then I was able to go outside and I was actually able to see it. And kind of in his music, he was able to explain a little bit of stuff that I didn't understand that I was seeing. I would listen to a song and be like, oh, okay, that kind of made more sense to me. For Big, it was his storytelling.
Right.
The fact that I could put on some Big, turn off all the lights, and literally visualize what he was saying word for word. I thought that was just dope. The talent to be able to do that to me was dope. You know what I mean? So his stuff was like, if you want to listen to somewhere you just vibing with, that's where Big fit in for me. M, man, I think I liked M from day one. I think he's probably, with Big and Pac, I understood their music. As I got older, it started hitting harder and harder to me.
Right.
But from day one, I liked them. And it was because, I don't know, maybe I saw the potential. I don't know. But when he dropped My Name Is, I was like, yeah, this sounds a little bit weird, but he floating.
Right.
You know, he chopping. So I thought that was dope. And then as he progressed and I understood lyrics more, understood metaphors more, I was like, whoa. This dude is something special. You know what I mean? And then I think the fact that he was white stapled it. And by this time, we had already started to get ready to move into Vegas and so on and so forth. And to be honest, in East Cleveland, it wasn't too many white people that I ran across.
If any.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think in my school, we had literally one white boy. We had a few white teachers, but we had one white boy in our school. On my street, the only people that were white were the older people that lived at the end of the block. Nobody fucked with them, and if you fuck with them, you had an issue.
Right. They were like at the cutoff between East Cleveland and Cleveland Heights.
Not even. They were definitely East Cleveland.
They were in the wow.
They were in East Cleveland, but it was like they had been there for so long, even though our block was nothing but gangsters. If you mess with these old people, one of them gangsters was gonna come see you because they were the big homies.
Yeah. Okay.
So to see a white boy come out and he's doing things that by this time I already been introduced to Big Pac. It was Big Pac and Bone. Mm-hmm. To be able to see him do what they were doing, if not better, I was like, this is amazing to me. Mm-hmm. I think the album for me that set him apart was the Eminem Show. Okay. I would play that album so much. The
Eminem Show took him to a whole new level.
Man, and his content, the storytelling, the metaphor, everything in him, but the beats, everything that you would want in a hip hop album, you got in that album to me. You got politics, you got street shit, you got relationship shit, if you will, everything. So that's, I mean, I fucked with him heavy. And then on top of that, he was able to take it back to his roots, and he can stand into you face to face and chop your ass down.
Give you bars.
Right. And for Fifth, oh man, shit. If you know me, you know I've been fucking with Fifth since day one.
Yep.
It was a lot of the things with M, and I mean it would help being that M is his predecessor. So it was a lot of the same thing. The beats, the metaphors, the fact that you can get party music, the fact that you can get that cruising, I'm driving music, you can get some street shit, you can get everything. And with Fifth, I think he's more the kind of now, especially now, he's more the underdog in some shit because it's a lot of music that he put out during the time that people said he fell off. Mm-hmm. Where I'm pretty sure it's a lot of music I have in my phone right now that I guarantee you a lot of people have never even heard.
Oh yeah.
Even if we want to go past it, if we want to go past the massacre, it was shit that he put out, I want to say between 2009 and present day that people haven't even heard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fifth is the only person that I can think of that have had records played on the radio that weren't even attached to an album. Mm-hmm. He went into the booth and made a song and it gets played on the radio. He had mixtape songs being played. Name the last artist that has had a mixtape song be played on the radio in regular rotation.
Technically Designer.
A mixtape song? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll give you that. But look where it took.
Actually, it wasn't even a mixtape song. It was just a regular ass. He went into the booth and made that.
Yeah, Fifth has had songs played on, or he has had songs played on the radio that were mixtape songs or songs he just went into the booth and made. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, the fact that he can get in there, yeah, he has completely went to other ventures, but the fact that he can still come back in the booth and still kill, he still gets called for features on big people songs, and he kills his features. So for me, those five, they hit a different chord for me. They touch on everything within my personality that I like. If you want me to be Grimy Brown, I'm gonna play Fifth.
Right.
If you want me to kind of show you a little bit of who I am and how I'm feeling about certain shit, I'm gonna play Joe. If you want me to act like a fucking maniac, I'm gonna play M. If you want me to understand and be logical, I'm listening to Pac and Big. So for me, they played a significant part in how I am and what composes me. Okay,
that's a solid 5. I guess this conversation does get boring at this point because my first 3, Pac, Big, and M. Mm-hmm. My last 2, and I know I'm really going to explain the last 2. Well, the last one at least. Jay.
I can get that.
Top 5.
Only reason he was not in mine because honestly, and I'm about to get killed for this, I did not fuck with Jay.
No, that's understandable.
I didn't fuck with Jay, I want to say, until 2014.
A lot of people look at Jay and they either fuck with him heavy or don't fuck with him at all. There's literally no in between.
I was driving, didn't have an Oscorp, the Black Album. My mom had the Black Album. Mm-hmm. I put it in and listened to it. I was like, what the fuck have I been missing?
Like, where have I been?
And I went back and listened. So I rock with Jay, but being that I came to him so late, I couldn't put him in my 5.
And my last, again, no order, my last is Kendrick.
I can do that. Like I said, if hip hop stopped today, I'll pull those. If we was to go top 10, Jay and Kendrick are definitely.
Oh yeah. Pac and this is where I'm gonna get killed. To me, Pac and Jay kind of fall in the same level because my all-time favorite albums. The reason I even picked up a pen was because of the Don Illuminati, the 7 Day Theory, and Reasonable Doubt. To me, those were the greatest albums ever made, and All Eyes on Me will be a very, very close second.
Okay,
but those albums I thought were amazing. The same reason that you fuck with Pac, he was speaking to the time. He was the reporter of the times, and he just created this movement. You know, a lot of rappers, they'll have a following. Pac had a movement. People teach about Pac today.
That's true. He got classes.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not talking about classes in your local community.
You can sign up.
I'm
talking about university.
Yeah, this is what Harvard.
Yes, he has statues in some schools and shit like that. But with Pac, he's not a default artist to me. When he came out, I was attached to this man's hip. The day he died, I'm like, wow. And I'm 7.
Right.
It shouldn't be something to resonate with me like that. But I was like, Pac is gone? Like, Pac is really gone. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have been listening to his music in the first place.
Right. True.
But
same.
His music, it just struck a serious chord. Big, for the exact same reason as you, I thought Big was just one of the nastiest rappers.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I mean, me and Jay was just listening to Notorious Thugs on the way back here. Chop that. Dude, he did better at what Bone do on their record. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Big is easily one of the ghosts when it comes down to spitting. Eminem, exact same reason. I even feel like if Eminem was black, he still would be just as special as he is right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it just helped him being white helped catapult him a little quicker than most. Kendrick. The reason I feel the way I do about Kendrick, I actually got on Kendrick the exact same way that you got on Jay. I wasn't familiar with anything prior to the recipe.
Hell, you introduced me to Kendrick, and I'm thankful for that every day of my life.
I wasn't privy to anything prior to the recipe, but Jay Alonzo kept telling me, you gotta hear Kendrick, you gotta hear Kendrick. I'm like, who the fuck is Kendrick? This Dre new dude. I'm like, this is Dre. At this point, Dre was like the new bad boy.
Right.
He would sign him, then let him go because he didn't do shit with Rakim. I was kind of mad at Dre around this time. Yeah. But he put on, I hear the recipe, and I'm like, no, it wasn't the recipe. ADHD is playing at Jay Alonzo's house.
That is,
and I was like, what the fuck is this? He was like, that's Kendrick. I'm like, what album is this from? It's Section 80. I download Section 80 and I listen to that album forward and backwards, literally. And this is no exaggeration, for 3 days straight. I got in the car, play. I got to the crib, play. I got to class, play. That was my soundtrack for 3 days straight. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, we all linked up at Capital One, and then I was planning it that much. You was like, yo, this record is ill. I'm like, right? Shit. To us, ADHD was the song of a great fucking time. That was 2012, probably one of our best times in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So ADHD opened that door. When I actually went back and listened, I was like, I can't skip a single record.
Nah, I put it on.
I couldn't
let it
skip
ride.
anything on Section 80. I couldn't skip anything on Overly Dedicated. Like, he just has no skip value with any of his records. As it got a little further, some skips,
right,
but still classic albums. Like, and I truly feel that way, that Kendrick hasn't given us a bad album at all.
Only album, and it's just me personally, it's not a bad album. Only album I didn't listen to as much was To Pimp a Butterfly.
It was a very, very, very political album, but to me, you got to listen to Pimp a Butterfly the same way you got to listen to Some Love Lost.
Okay.
You kind of got to be in that mindset, but once you're there, you love it. Because, again, I fucked with Some Love Lost. Only because it spoke to that time.
Right, absolutely.
With To Pimp a Butterfly, I was pissed. And it came out just in enough time because I was already pissed. So I lived with that album for a cool minute. And a lot of people, they look at King Kunta as their favorite record. My favorite record on there is it's slipping my head. I've been A1 since day one. You niggas,
I know what you're talking about.
That is my shit.
See, I like Black of the Berry.
Black of the Berry is a very, very close second. But Black of the Berry, he went off.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
But yeah, so that's why Kendrick would round up my top 5. His records, they're just like Pac. Like, they live with whatever situation you got going on. I could relate to a time, in my life, good, bad, or whatever, and I could put a Kendrick record behind it. The same way we go to childhood, I could put a Pac record behind it.
That's how I feel with mine. They each have a time period for me. Each have a time period. So my next question would be then, if you had to choose one of those 5 artists and they had to spit a 16 to save your life, but they don't know they're saving your life. So they're completely oblivious to this. Who would you pick?
It'd be a coin toss between Big and M.
Really?
It'd be a coin toss between Big and M.
I can understand M, but I thought you would have said Kendrick or somebody on that.
Nah, and here's why. Again, I think Kendrick is probably one of the greatest lyricists in the world, but he is also an acquired taste.
I see.
M resonates with a lot of people in a lot of different
No,
ways.
no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about he can just get in there and spit, not resonation.
But even then, even if you look at some of Kendrick's just spitting,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not receptive to deep lyrical bars, it could be a hit or miss with Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
M, he's just gonna spit. He's just gonna destroy shit. Biggie, he's gonna finesse the 16. Like, that's one thing that I fucking love about Biggie. Like he just styles on you for bar.
He made being big and ugly cool.
He made That's why I flourished in college. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Thank you, Christopher Wallace. But those have to be my two, because M is going to get you from bar 1 to bar 16. Big is just going to style on you for all 16. And you just going to be like, ooh, ooh. That's going to be your reaction to everything Big says. So it'd be a coin toss between those two.
I can respect that.
What about you?
It'd be a coin toss for me between M and Fifth.
Really?
M for a lot of the same reasons you said. And Fifth because if you dissect verse by verse, he hasn't given you a bad verse.
Yeah.
He's made bad songs or even been featured on bad songs, but he has not given you, if you look bar for bar, has not given you a bad verse. And the thing I like about 50, what he's able to do is he can rap to where people like in our generation fuck with it, and he can get it to where these younger generation fuck with it, where he's really not talking about much.
Yeah, I've heard 50 give you the
he's really not
I've seen him give him that kind of verse.
And so for me, it'd be a coin toss. I mean, I honestly would think that some people would probably say Pac in that situation. But like I think Pac is acquired taste for some people as well.
Pac is definitely acquired taste, and even though I love Pac, he's like my all-time favorite rapper. He's not the greatest "Give Me 16 Right Now" rapper.
Right.
People don't love Pac for his lyricism. People love Pac for his message and how he delivers it. I could definitely say that. You've never heard a Pac gas that verse. You've never heard somebody say that, but you've heard people like, "Ooh, okay, Pac." You've seen more of that than you do Pac gas that verse, and I think that's why people often put Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac in the same running, because if you wanted that lyrical styling, you go to Big. If you wanted that message, you go to Pac.
Right. Now, this would be my last question I have that I'm interested on. Pick, and this is going to be hard.
Okay, let's go.
Pick your favorite song, one song from each one of those artists out of your top 5.
You go first. Give me some time.
Okay, I'm going to start with Pac. And I would probably say Shorty Wanna Be a Thug.
Okay.
Big. I'm not crazy, y'all. Suicidal Thoughts.
Okay.
M. Shit.
That's where it gets tough, because they got records.
Fuck with M, because it's so, and I'm finna be mad at myself for doing this. With M, it'd probably be Square Dance off the Eminem Show.
Why?
Because if you listen to every verse, he's giving you bar for bar, and it's quotables. If it wasn't now, it'd probably be Soldier off the same album. With Budden, oh my God. With Budden, fuck. I'm gonna skip past Budden. I'll come back to him. With Fifth,
Probably gonna skip past Fifth too.
I need to, because I'm about to hate myself for this, but a track that I think is by far one of the coldest things he's done is probably Baltimore Love Thing.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
The
But okay.
storytelling, the beat, just when I first heard Baltimore Love Thing, I thought he was talking about a woman. The whole time he's talking about a drug. I thought that was the dopest shit ever. Budden, fuck. Shit. Budden, I'll probably have to say In My Sleep from Patty Room. No matter what, when that album comes on, like even though I listen to the whole album, no skips, well, 2 skips, I can probably go to that song first, and then let everything else play out. I thought that song was just dope. But that's hard, man. I even now I'm sitting there thinking I could have said this on certain artists, but I think I would have to stick with those 5.
Okay.
What you got? I think you over there pondering.
I am. I really am. I was trying to wait. From Pac, I got to go with Can't See Me. Okay. I think that is probably the best I've heard Tupac rap with, like, addressing whatever the hell he had going on, as well as just, like, styling. Like, he went off on You Can't See Me. If you ain't heard Tupac, You Can't See Me, if you want to actually say Pac was killing this shit, you go listen to You Can't See Me. He went off on You Can't See Me. Big,
Big is hard when you think. Big is hard.
Big is hard, but
Big is like a sleeper hard.
But I know what record it is. But this is gonna put my hip hop card in question just because I can't remember the name of the song right now. But it's the damn, why they want to stick me for my paper? It was
fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Exactly, like it's right there. We're gonna remember it later. Someone's gonna remind us. That's my favorite Big record because that was the epitome of storytelling. Like, that was on some taking what Cash used to do back in the battle rap before it was on Wax Days and bringing it to the current time. I thought that was an amazing record. Now it's really starting to get hard. Jay, what is the record I go to the most with? Jay, I'm gonna skip Jay. I'm gonna come back to Jay. Kendrick, obviously ADHD. You know, that just has endless.
That Big track is Warning.
Warning, that's what it's called. Warning. ADHD has endless replay value.
If I had Kendrick on mine, I probably would say that too.
It had to be ADHD. And he's given us some shit since then, but ADHD, anytime that song come on, you just hear that, oh, nigga, that's my...
Yeah, as soon as it come on, man, I'm that top down,
exactly,
top
like,
back, and I'm cruising.
That's my... Y'all youngsters don't know shit about hip-hop record. Like that right there. M
is hard, because even now, man, I'm sitting there thinking like Relapse was a slept-on album.
Relapse was definitely a slept-on album. Yeah, it would have to be, and don't call me crazy, but just hear me out. It would have to be between 8 Mile Road, because I'm really big in the stories. I'm really big in the stories, and he ate that shit alive.
He did.
And
it's just a lot. And it's harder when you got artists that has put out a solid catalog of work.
Yeah, solid catalog, definitely.
Yeah, it's hard.
And this was a feature, but I still say this was probably Eminem's greatest verse. But his verse on Medicine Man on Dre's album,
boy,
that when I heard that, and then like he was gassing so hard, they even make the bitches a rape come. I'm like, I can't even be mad about that.
That's how I felt. Like first of all, I actually like that album. I like it.
You're one of very few.
Yeah, I actually like that album. But when that particular track comes on, that beat is hitting so hard in the car.
And the way it slows down on M's verse is so menacing. I'm like, you can just see him in the Jason mask going crazy.
And then that line, I was like, oh my God, this man
I wasn't ready for that line, bro.
Even the track before that where they sampling for the love of that shit is hard too. But yeah, that verse was crazy.
Jay, I don't know if I can give you my all time just because Jay's just been so consistent. Like, he doesn't have a record to me that just like, this is my go-to Jay record. Like,
well, put a go-to record on Reasonable Doubt.
Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents would be mine. Can't Knock the Hustle would be a solid number 2. All time, I kind of just answered my own question. It'd definitely be Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents.
My favorite Jay-Z record of all time. Because that just stupid storytelling.
Yeah.
Stupid
I'll take it a
storytelling.
step further. Let's see if you can do this. And then we'll leave it at that.
Trying to kill me.
I think you talked about Jay. You said your favorite. What's your favorite album for each of these artists?
For each artist?
Yeah.
Pac is Don Illuminati, The 7 Day Theory. Jay-Z would be Reasonable Doubt. Kendrick would be Section 80. I still haven't heard a record better than Section 80. Eminem would be The Eminem Show. Big would be Life After Death. And who haven't I said? That's everybody.
That's solid.
To me, I loved it. It was so deep. It was dark. Like, it was like when I heard it, I was just like, yo, this Pac is bleeding on this record. Like, legitimately bleeding on this record.
I can respect that.
What about you?
With Pac, I think what the masses, All Eyes on Me. With Big, it would have to be maybe it is Life After. Yeah, Life After Death.
Even though Ready to Die is a goddamn classic.
That's what I'm sitting there thinking. I'm trying to think which one do I listen to more when I put it on. Now I'll probably say Ready to Die.
Ready to Die.
I think I listen to that one more.
Okay.
With M, it's a toss up for me between the Eminem Show and Relapse.
Wow, really?
Yeah, only because people like Relapse was, yes, it was different, but if you listen to it song by song, that man was gassing.
Yeah.
Even is the 3 a.m. in the morning where that's that serial killer shit, he was gassing.
Yeah, he went off on 3 a.m.
With Budden, it would probably be I can't even say it was album, but Mood Music 2.
Mood Music 2 was dope.
That's probably, and for fifth, that I listen to the more, probably the Massacre. Only because he got a lot of mixtapes, and I don't want, because some of the mixtapes that I've heard, people don't even know what that is, so I'm not going to put it out there, but probably the Massacre. I think the Massacre, I can put it on, and literally there is not a skip to me.
Oh, wow, really?
I mean, some of the party records, maybe because they was on the radio so much, but if they weren't played on it, there's not a skip to me.
It wouldn't be a skip. No, I feel that. Let's go ahead and get conversation going in here too. Yo, who are in your top 5? What are your favorite songs from these people? And 3, what are your favorite albums from these people?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go ahead and get that going.
This is the top 5 if hip hop stopped today, and you can
if hip
pull
hop
5.
stopped today, and somebody said, "Who are the niggas I need to go listen to?" Like, just if Caps was having the same conversation about disco, but if hip hop was to stop today, and they were like, "I need to hear who are the 5 people that's going to explain to me everything about hip hop." Who was your top 5? What is the record you would play for them? And what is the album that you would tell them to go get? Wherever you listening, YouTube, Spreaker, wherever you listening at, drop that in the comments. We'll actually bring it back up in the next show.
Yeah,
kind of see what people were talking about.
Yeah, we can see where your head at. Give us a little insight on who you are. So I think music, first of all, is a universal language. Definitely. I have not heard one person. I don't even think there is one person on the face of this planet that can say they don't listen to music.
Right.
Period. 2, I think music kind of gives you a glimpse on who a certain person is. You know what I mean? Because obviously music resonates with people, so it has to resonate with you for a reason. Mm-hmm. So, go ahead. Let us know. Who
don't be ashamed if any of these new cats is in your top 5.
Yeah, don't be ashamed. I might talk about you, but at the same time, you still my people. You're ear hustler, so I rock with you.
Exactly. Ear hustlers unite in this conversation. Kev, let them know where they can find you at, bro.
_Hollywood Kev on Twitter and Instagram. Same with my Snap, except for the Kev. There's a 3 instead of an E.
At Big Los UTC, Big Los on Snapchat. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook. And as we stated at the beginning, make sure y'all follow us here at iHeartRadio. You can also follow us on Twitter at @beat_network. Follow us on Instagram at Beat Network. Facebook.com/BeatNetwork1. Follow us on all the social medias. Check out all the shows. Stay tuned for all the content that's coming. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. And as always, it's Big Los.
Hollywood Kev.
It's the Noize.